2 seconds so I can get a nice clean video for my YouTube, and then we're going to be hopping into this one here. So we've been slowly working through we've been slowly working our way through the infinite depth of modern archetypes. There's probably a good 40 established modern archetypes of varying degrees of success, and this is one of the best ones that has popped up in the last 2 to 3 years. It was extant before that, but it has really had a resurgence on the back of a lot of very good Toronto players, Matthew Dilks, Edgar Magalesh, and Dominic Harvey, to name a few. So this is Amulet Titan. So this deck is looking to put Primeval Titans into play as early as turn 2 by exploiting the interaction of Amulet of Vigor, which is a 1-mana artifact that says whenever a permanent enters the battlefield tapped and under your control, untap it. And lands like Simic Growth Chamber, which taps for 2 mana. It also has a trigger that requires you to return a land you control to your hand when it enters the battlefield. So with these 2 cards together, you can play a Simic Growth Chamber for your land drop, tap it for 2, and then return it to your hand. This does not seem all that impressive until you realize that with cards like Sakura-Tribe Elder, Azusa, Lost But Seeking, and Dryad of the Ilysian Grove, you can use their extra land drops in order to use them as rituals. You can generate a lot of mana. Again, at least 6 on turn 2 is possible, but I've seen even more extreme plays with Amulet of Vigor, so hopefully we will get to do some of that today. So Primeval Titan, we do have 29 lands in this list, but I have seen ones as high as 31. So Primeval Titan allows us to look into our deck and grab 2 lands. If we have an Amulet of Vigor in play, we're likely to grab Slayers Stronghold, which has red and a white tap. Target creature gains +2/+0, vigilance, and haste until end of turn, which means you can attack right away and then grab another 2 lands. So with the Titan, enter the battlefield trigger, you get your Slayers Stronghold and your Boros Garrison, which conveniently taps for red-white. They both untap thanks to the Amulet of Vigor. You give your Titan haste and then attack them, and you can grab things like Teleria West, which you can transmute into a Summoner's Pact to get another Titan. So this is the fabled Squadron Titan line. But you also have a lot of other utility lands, similar to a Legacy Lands shell, like Bojuka Bog that wipes out your opponent's graveyard, Cavern of Souls, which is going to make your next Titan uncounterable, Valakut the Molten Pinnacle, which combos up with Dryad the Elysian Grove to turn every land into a lightning bolt. And so there is a very, very deep well of synergies in this deck and incredible things that you can pull off very quickly. Your sideboard here, a good chunk of it is taken up with a Karn package. So we've got Grafdigger's Cage, Pipping Needle, Relic, Liquimel Coating, Ensnaring Bridge, Wormcoil, Engineer Explosives, which you can of course board in because they are 0 cost and they can be transmuted for with Teleria West. So maybe these, hold on, these maybe don't. Why are you gonna? Why you gotta do this to me? Do that, and then that. Cool. Engineering Explosives, which you can board in, of course, because you can tutor for them with Teleria West. And then we got some Beast Within to destroy things like Blood Moon. We got a Rex Sage, same thing. Obstinate Baloth, a little help against Jund. So we've got a reasonable package of things here. So we are going to hop in to a league here and see how we do. How is it going, Toop 23? I'm doing very well. I know you're in some different time zone that makes my usual stream time no good for you, but today we've got an extra special long stream. I had the sort of flexibility with my schedule, feeling good about life, so I figured let's go ahead, do 3 decks. Stream has been doing wonderfully, wonderfully well. For the first time ever, I cracked 7,500 views in the last 28 days. Views in the last 28 days has been the metric that I've sort of used since the beginning. Oh, and we're playing against Grinja? If this is the person I think it is, they're probably on a Ponza deck or a Prison deck. It should be a really tough matchup for us, but we're probably gonna hack it out here. So we've got turn 1, Sakura-Tribe Scout. We've got a Summoner's Pact to get our Titan. We've got Dryad on turn 2. So I think we're going to be okay. Do I have Dryad on turn 2? So if I played Cavern on turn 1, we set it to... We have to set it to Snake, Shaman, or Scout in order to be able to play the Dryad, or in order to play the Scout. And then we won't be able to play the Dryad off of it. Now we will be able to drop extra lands into play. Vesuva always enters the battlefield tapped, as does Teleria West, and Castle Garenbrig has no forest in play. So it doesn't look like we're going to have turn 2 Dryad, but we could easily get to turn 3 Titan, as Castle Garenbrig is really, really powerful. I think this is a keep. Certainly going to try it out. There's lots of things that would have made this a lot better, but we will be able to get a turn, maybe turn 3 Titan. I don't know if it seems great, but it's not awful. I think Scout, because Azusa is a Shaman, right? Legendary creature, human monk. Nope. So I don't think there's any type overlap here. So we're going to name Scout because we could have Tireless Tracker. We don't, but we could. Here's my snake. Yeah. So I have no experience playing this archetype, by the way. So we will see how well this goes. Looks like we are, in fact, against Gruul or maybe Ponza. Okay, good to go here. That's a reasonably great pickup. If they have something in the nature of a Stone Rain, we'll be able to use our Simic Growth Chamber to bounce whichever land they target. So we're going to go ahead and play Vesuva here and copy their basic forest. So that's the added upside of making sure that we have green mana should our opponent have something like Blood Moon to put into play. Which will get us to Dryad. Then Dryad's going to make all of our lands each basic land type, and then we'll be able to play the Titan the turn after. So everything's kind of coming up Millhouse. Yep. So there is the Blood Moon. So we're going to put Simic Growth Chamber into play after this resolves. Forest is considered basic. I'm good. Had first paper tournament last Saturday. LGS had a league where top 16 players got invite. Played standard 1-2 with Teamer Reclamation, Modern 2-0-1 to draw. Have lunch with Teamer Urian Shift. Top 8 played Chaos Draft, single elimination, and I dropped out for the first match since I'm bad at drafting. Yeah, limited is one of the hardest things in all of Magic, but you keep hacking away at it and you'll gain some reasonable skill at it. All right, so we've got Titan mana for next turn. I think I'm going to just hold on to this Teleria West for now. I might floop it into play. Oh, I need to if I want to play the Titan next turn anyway, so we'll see how this turn goes. If my Dryad survives, we can cast the Titan. If it does not, then we cannot, so that's pretty important for us to know. They have to have Chandra here in order to stop us. Glorybringer's not going to do it. Okay. Another Magus. Doesn't matter if I do this now or after. Yes. Karn is interesting. I think Karn will be more interesting after I grab my Titan. I just want to check my deck list and make sure that I do, in fact, have enough forests. I think that I do. So there's 2 snow-covered forests, one basic forest. We already have our Vesuva in play, so I'm going to grab at least one of these, but probably both to make sure that I don't die to my Pact next turn. So Summoner's Pact requires you to play 2 green during the next upkeep or lose the game, which we do not want to do. So, He played a new Magus, and I wasn't paying attention, because that's not how that works. Layers, man. I think I just killed myself. Fun. Oh, no. So I have 4 for Karn, and I don't think anything here gets me out of this. Warped. Them layers. I should be a judge or something like that. Then I would know how this works. Walking Ballista. Not gonna do it because while I can crank it to 2 during the next upkeep and kill the Blood Moon or the Magus that is overwriting my Dryad, I will also have to pay for that trigger, and I won't have enough mana at that point, I believe. Yeah, because they'll still be not non-basics properly. So goofy punt there against multiple Magus of the Moons because I didn't realize how they were going to interact with my Dryad of the Ilysian Grove. So unfortunately, it looks like we're dead there. Could have had maybe an interesting game, but was not to be. Okay. Got layered out. For anyone who does not understand that interaction, you can drop a comment on the YouTube video here, and I will be happy to explain that in more detail. So probably I'm supposed to have Beast Within and or Engineered Explosives, but I don't know how I'm supposed to get explosives to 3 with all the Magi in play. Hey, how's it going, Pensewer? Just got ruckused in game 1 against Panza because I made a pretty horrendous misplay. Rex Sage, probably want that one too. I don't know if I'm supposed to bring in all of these things. Almost feels like we could do something like this, but I feel like that makes us kind of threat light. I would kind of like to take out my Sakura-Tribe Scouts against a deck that's going to be much more likely to kill them. We can kind of slow roll our way to our Titans, but I do not know if this is at all the correct angle to take. Going well, haven't been too hot with Rosa recently, so I'm playing some Bant Snow. Yeah, Bant Snow seems like the slightly superior deck right now in the metagame. We just went over the challenge results from the weekend very quickly, and it seems like Bant had like 3 or 4 entries in top 8s. Also redless. There was multiple redless control decks and Snowblade decks, and there was only one Temur Rosa. There was one, but only one. And there is something to be said about how much skill can take you through in that deck. Okay, so we've got Basic Forest, which is great. Ancient Stirrings, turn to explore as long as we find an untapped land. So while this hand could flame out pretty quickly, it could also be really, really okay. Huh. Well, I don't know the range of keepable hands with this deck yet. I know you can mull very aggressively, but I'm not going to. This seems reasonable, so we're going to keep it. Have you played Turbo Prison recently? I haven't, but I know Fluffy Wolf 2 just uploaded another video of him playing my list, which you can find here if your Turbo Prison fix needs to be met. All right, what do we got? No Omlette. Cavern of Souls, Selesnya Sanctuary, Sunhome. Sanctuary seems like a good thing to explore into next turn, but I need an untap land in order to be able to go for it. So I think I'm going to grab Cavern. Next turn we explore, and maybe the turn after we get to play Karn. Unfortunately, we immediately started against, I assume, one of the less great matchups for Amulet Titan. So I don't know how to play this deck, and we immediately ran into one of the worst matchups. So hopefully we'll have a little luck, which will pull us through here. Otherwise, we're gonna be in trouble. All right. I don't need this on anything in particular right now. Probably just called Giant, because Giant is the creature type that requires double green. So we're gonna explore. I don't really want to play. Oh, I didn't pick up the Selesnya Sanctuary, so that's fine. So I'm going to play Vesuva here and copy their Stomping Ground, I believe. Could make another Cavern, but I think I want different land types. I'd like to pay 2 life. For nothing? Nah, I'm good. I have not yet watched the video of Fluffy playing my Turbo Prison deck yet, so we shall see. The Jiggy Mana Symbol special. Alright. This looks like Pillage. Could be another moon effect. Yep, Pillage. Pillage on my basic. Womp womp. Which means we will not be getting to Karn this turn. Could get Dryad, but with Summoner's Pact, but Dryad won't really increase my sustainability against Blood Moon right now, because they'll play the Blood Moon afterwards and I'll be locked up and I'll die to the Summoner's Pact. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do here other than play Land Pass, which feels pretty god-awful against as aggressive a deck as theirs is. But I think that's where we're at. Next turn, I can play a Karn, wish for something like Walking Ballista to deal with a potential Magus of the Moon. So maybe we'll be okay on that front. Looks like their hand might be a little weak, but okay, yeah. Definitely looks like their hand is a little soft. Could have a Glory Banger for next turn, but he's not really the most threatening thing. Field is all right. So I can go land this turn. I could get Azusa, but Azusa doesn't do anything with these. Next turn, Dryads would be able to start getting Valakut triggers. So I think we're just going to go Temple Garden Shock, Karn. We're going to wish for something. Not sure what. We want it to be something that is useful even if Karn gets destroyed here. I'm thinking Engineered Explosives could actually even be good, even if they kill the Karn or even if they play a Blood Moon here. Obviously, if they play a Blood Moon, I'm in big trouble. But I think we're going to get Engineered Explosives on this one. So if they destroy land, we'll just get Engineered Explosives on this one. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing here. If you want to see a good player who knows what they're doing with Amulet, I know Pause Lulz, that very difficult name to say, the quote-unquote last modern streamer, does play a lot of Omelet, so you can go see him cook some people up into a delicious eggy mess. We're just learning here. Just doing a little learneroo. Hoping this is Chandra. Nope. Glorybringer? Luca. That's Emrakul. Well, crap. Oh, no, it's Magus. Oh, also crap. Jeez! That was... Yikes. Yep. Alright. I think we're done here. So, not an easy deck to play. The mechanics of it, notwithstanding, The hate that exists in Modern is very, very powerful. Have you thought about adding more cards to the Karn toolbox? In which deck? This one? Because this is not my deck list. This is just the one that did quite well in the challenge that I thought looked okay. Turbo Prison. There's already a lot of cards in that toolbox, right? Is there not? There's like 6 to 8? There's 7, isn't there? There is 7 because the sideboard in that deck has 8 actual cards. Okay, so we've got a bunch of mana on turn 2, but between Vesuva and Golgari Rot Farm, I think we can get like a turn 4 Titan here. I'm going to keep this. Again, I'm not sure where we're going with this, but I'm going to figure it out. Or we're going to die. We're on the play, so hopefully we can win against random deck on the play. I think this is one of our best possible starts, so it's hard for me to turn it down. Tapped Blood Crypt. I have no idea what that means. Well, if we had picked up a Dryad or a Azusa, we would have been able to explode like crazy this turn. That said, so we could have 3 mana this turn. Doesn't really do anything for me, so let's just go ahead and play another basic out and sort of keep the Karoo lands in my hand for now, since they function as rituals that you gain mana by playing them. But that doesn't last more than a turn. Cathartic Green. Oh, it's Dredge. Okay, I think we can beat Dredge. Obviously, this hand is a little clunky, so maybe not. That is a pretty good Dredge. But they didn't flip anything into play right away. We're also playing the Karn version, which means we have access to Ensnaring Bridge. There he is. So we have 4 mana this turn. I'm going to go ahead and play the Karn. What is he getting for me? Is there Graveyard Hate in my sideboard? There's a Grafdigger's Cage. I won't be able to play it this turn. But it's probably worth having. So we've got 2 triggers here. For this circumstance, it doesn't matter, but we want the Rot Farm trigger on the bottom, then the Omlette trigger. So Omlette's going to untap the Rot Farm. We can tap it. Now, with the Rot Farm trigger, we could return the Rot Farm to our hand, but we're not interested in that play this turn. We're going to play the Karn here. Get our Grafdigger's Cage. Again, if I had 1 more mana or 2 more mana, this turn would be a lot better, but I just don't have it, so here we are. So we got 3. We go to 5 mana next turn. Not particularly effective in terms of being able to play a Primeval Titan, but assuming that our Karn survives, we'll be able to get both Relic and wipe out their graveyard and Grafdigger's Cage. We could also get an Engineered Explosives and detonate it for up to X equals 2, which will wipe out a bunch of Bloodghasts, which then won't be able to re-enter once the Grafdigger's Cage is in play. They do have an Ox of Agonis in their graveyard, so there's a good chance they're going to play that and pop out a whole whack of stuff. I don't know how quickly I'm going to be able to unload my hand here. So it looks like they have opted not for the Ox, because if they were going to Ox, I think they would have done it before playing that land and getting their Bloodghast out of the graveyard, because they could have hit another Bloodghast along the way. I'm definitely going to be able to offer a lot more interesting commentary about playing against Dredge. That I have experience doing. Oh, no, here's the Ox. Oh, all right. There's a Creeping Chill, at least one. So we're going to get whacked. I wonder if they were trying to hit 4 Creeping Chills to get me underneath 10 so that their Bloodghasts could all attack this turn. I think that would be a very ambitious line. And there was a danger that they were going to do a Conflagrate to take my Karn down this turn, but it looks like they're not. Don't know what they're doing with this last piece of mana. Oh, they went too low on their deck, and they failed to find on their fetch there. And again, their prized amalgams are in their graveyard now, so I think we, the inexperienced Titan player, have run into the inexperienced Dredge player. Now, I do have a second Omlette here, which means that this Simic Growth Chamber is going to be able to produce 4 mana. So we're actually going to be able to Titan this turn and get 1 billion mana. And I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do with it yet, but I don't think that's how you're supposed to play this deck. Again, watching Aspiring Spike play a Modern League this morning, he was talking about Amulet players and when they do and don't tank. Or when he thinks they should and shouldn't tank. Now, I don't take anything that anyone says is gospel, but I think that Spike is a very, very good Modern player. So here's our Titan. We're going to search with the Titan. We've got double Amulet, so we're going to be able to give it haste. So we're going to get Slayers Stronghold, which is, yeah, that one, and Boros Garrison. I think our opponent has... No. That wasn't a lockup because of that. All right, so we got all of these untap triggers. It does point to you which is being untapped. So we want to make sure... Okay, so the Garrison trigger can go... for bouncing the land, can go on the bottom for sure. We need the Boros Garrison and the Slayer Stronghold. So we can go 1... Okay, so those are both on the Stronghold, and these are both on the Garrison. So let's get the second Stronghold untap. And the second Garrison untap. First Stronghold untap, the first Garrison untap. I think I got that right. So, yeah, Garrison untaps, Stronghold untaps, activate, pay for it. Okay. Untap again, and then we get to return a land to our hand. Oh, shoot. All right, so I'm going to return one of these because I goofed there and I did not tap this for mana first, which we're going to use for this Grafdigger's Cage. Then we're going to attack with this Titan, get more lands. We can get a Bojuka Bog here, actually. So let's go ahead and do that. They are going to be able to kill this Titan, but we haven't done anything where we need to get goofy with that. So let's get a Teleria West and a Bojuka Bog here, I think. I'm sure someone can tell me that there's a better thing to do, but this is what I'm getting. Bog you. Okay, I think the untap triggers order largely does not matter this time, but we'll see. I seem to be unable to do stuff. I think we won the game. Yeah, we did in fact win the game. I also could have gotten the double strike land there. I don't know if that was supposed to be important, but we didn't do it. I don't think this is a match where I'm supposed to sideboard much at all. All of these things are largely for the Karn Wishboard. The Engineered Explosives are not, necessarily, but I don't think there's anything in my main deck that I'm supposed to kick out here. So one of the things that you generally want to think of your deck as, especially in Modern, I assume Legacy has the same thing, Pioneer a little bit less so, but probably the same amount, is how linear is your deck? And if the more linear your deck is, the less you want to sideboard going into game 2 and 3, unless there's some colossally important reason for you to do so, which I don't think that there is in this particular matchup. So I think I'm just clicking submit here. Obviously, there's some massaging of the deck that I could do here. Obstinate Baloth doesn't seem awful, but generally speaking, the engine of this deck is incredibly powerful, and Karn is kind of like you get to keep your sideboard in your main deck. Some of the artifact effects are not as good as other sideboard cards could be, but we're just looking for a proactive hand where we can kind of do our thing. And the toolbox nature of this deck allows us to combat a very wide variety of the Modern metagame. This hand is incredibly clunky and slow. This is the first one I think I'm going to throw back. This one is less than great. We got a turn 2 Ancient Stirrings. Selesnya Sanctuary, Cavern of Souls. If we hit an Omlette, we're going to be in a pretty reasonable place, I guess. So this is a keeper. It's not a great one. I think I'm tossing Summoner's Pact here because I just don't... Maybe I'm supposed to toss Primeval Titan here because Summoner's Pact has a little more flexibility. in this matchup, and we will find one of our Titans by the time we need it, I assume. Yeah, I think this is fine. It's obviously not great against Dredge if they have a very explosive start. Last game we were lucky to be on the play. Oh, well, then there's that. Okay, so we've got turn 2 Azusa. Can we do a turn 2 Titan here? No, because we've got the turn 2 Azusa. Okay, so if we play the Amulet on turn 1, using Cavern of Souls, then on turn 2, we can play the Selesnya Sanctuary. We'll have 3 mana available, which can get us... Our Summoner's Pact can get us Azusa or Dryad of the Ilysian Grove. But that's where that whole chain ends. So I think we're going to go Cavern, Amulet, and then on turn 2, probably Castle into Ancient Stirrings, and then we'll see where we go from there. Again, just sort of making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and I'm homebound. We'll just do human. Should have probably done giant, but they're not going to hit us with any counter magic, so I don't think it matters too much. Although, Primetime is the only double green creature in our deck, so probably was better to choose Primeval Titan, or Giant. Nature's Claim. Alright, well, we're at 24, so we're doing great on the life front, and we've got Ancient Stirrings. Hopefully that'll get us to our next something. Seems like their Dredge start is real slow, though. I don't know if I'm supposed to put the Sanctuary down here. Either way, it doesn't really make me go fast, so. Haggle. Yikes. Oh, it's just a Loam. Whew. I say that because Loam only... Life from the Loam only dredges for 3, which is, I believe, the smallest dredger that they play. Okay. Holy jumping. Well, our opponent's Dredge start is super clunky and slow, so maybe we get somewhere with this. Bog. Can I link a deck list I've been testing a bit? Yeah, I'll take a look at it between matches of this bad mamma jamma. The question is, do I bog? So I'm pretty sure I'm taking this bog. I'm going to bog them, which is not a big deal because they don't have any Dredge cards in right now. Maybe I should wait until next turn to bog them. Might be too late, but all of these dang tap lands are just eating us here. What do you think are the tier 1 games at the minute? You mean the tier 1 decks in Modern? Yeah, I think I'm going to bog them here. I might as well. Well, no, because playing Sanctuary means I could... Well, if I Sanctuary my Cavern, I can have 4 mana next turn, but I also have the option to bog anyway. So we'll bounce the Cavern here. Decks. So from looking at the challenge... Pensur, Bant Snow definitely seems way out ahead right now in terms of the number of results. I think that's probably the only deck that I could tell you with any degree of sureness that I would refer to as tier 1 right now. I think Bant Snow is far and away the best performing deck right now. With a lot of like, you know, I don't want to get into minutia because you can get bogged down really fast. But there's definitely a lot of trickle down to tier 1.5 and tier 2. There's Gruul decks, there's Dredge, there's Burn, there's one Teamer Erosa, so I assume some variety of that will be reasonable in the future. I'm going to get my Grafdigger's Cage. I don't think it's ever going to be a mistake to just get that first in this matchup. They have to have removal for it. It's such a haymaker. They likely do, but I also have the Bog, so we've got multiple ways we can fight them coming up. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best I can say about the tier 1 modern meta. I'm Mr. Medium takes here, generally speaking. So they've got an Ancient Grudge in their graveyard, which they can't kill my cage with that. Playing with Karn is hard. It can be. It's certainly more nuanced than I would have thought before I played it, and I've really enjoyed playing with Karn. Playing with Wishboards is super fun, especially when they're like reasonable. Do you think Stoneforge version is the best for Bant? I don't think so, but I think it's definitely something you can play and be successful with. So if you look at the challenge tops, while Bant is the standout archetype, there's also redless control, so it's basically Bant adding black, and there are both Stoneforge versions and versions without Stoneforge Mystic. So it's not... I would say those two decks are very, very, very close in terms of efficacy at most times. And it's both a difference in your particular playstyle as well as small variations in the meta that decide which one's better. So one of my teammates for my trios team, Brian Ching, is always playing some variety of Bant in Modern, and whether it's more controlling or more, I'm going to call it tempo, is very sort of meta dependent. Okay, I think I'm going to bog them and then play Grafdigger's Cage here. My Karn's going to die. That's fine. And then next turn, we have a Titan. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have the... Do I have the double green to filter if I play Bog? I don't. So awkward. If I Summoner's Pact for Azusa, I can play 1,000,000 lands this turn. So that's probably okay. So, Pact for Azusa, play Bog, play Sanctuary... replay whatever land I bounce, and then next turn I have to pay for the Pact and Titan. So these two pay for the Pact, and then 1, 2, 3. I can't Titan if I get Azusa, but I don't know if I can Titan without. So could just get a Dryad, and that gives me access to Teleria West, but I don't know how much I want that right now. Yeah, we're just in a tough place with all these tap lands. I do think setting up to bog them every turn is probably alright, so... We're going to Pact for Azusa, play out our fistful of dollars here, and see where we end up. Here's my fancy lady. She fancy. So I'll bog ya. Boop. I agree. It's great to see so many sub-archetypes. And now we have archetypes that we really don't have a name for. So again, I was saying there's redless control, and like that just wasn't a thing before. Or like it was from time to time, but it seems like a kind of, I was supposed to bounce the Cavern there. I don't think bouncing the Bog really hurts me in any significant way. Probably going to play out this Teleria West then. We can't Titan next turn anyway. What is this? You're not cranking the Blast Zone, are you? Oh, they're activating Merchant. Sure. Okay. Wait, I can still play my Bog. Perfect. Dude. Get out of here. Alright. So we do have to play for a Pact next turn. And I can't save my Karn, so I think we might be in a bad place, but I think personally not having Stoneforge because it invalidates so much of the removal. That is the way I prefer to play control. I like everything in my deck to or rather I like blanking people's removal. On the flip side, Stoneforge is really good. And Stoneforge is an automatic 2-for-1, so most removal is not itself a 2-for-1, so Stoneforge gets you something immediately. Holy triple prized amalgam. Well, that's a big yikes. No win condition, that's how to control. I mean, that is my preference, yes. So we can't save Karn, we're not going to. So we're going to need something to go right for us in order to win this game, I think. Does Cathartic or Conflagrate for X = 0 just to get in the graveyard? Possibly. Cathartic. Another Cathartic? Jeez. They might deck themselves. Ballista is also very good. And big fan of Ballista. Or, as I like to refer to him, my good friend Christopher. Christopher Walken Ballista. Alright. Well, that was a big one. We don't have engineered explosives in our deck right now, so this Teleria West can't go for anything like that. Not that we... Good lord. Trigger! Alright, so... okay. Would you like to pay? Yeah, I'd like to pay. Really? Yes, really. Yeah, Stoneforge is just a different, I don't know, it's a different approach. So, it's certainly something that a lot of people will choose to do. Okay, so I can play, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 land names. I can't transmute for a different land type. Summoner's Pact doesn't really do anything for me right now. We're just kind of in the huge shrubs here. Can't get another Bog. So I don't know if I misplayed this game anywhere along the way, or if this is just a pretty heinous draw. I think I should have had a tap land in my hand right now. But they did have a lot of answers that lined up at the right times here. And I think maybe I could Summoner's Pact for a Dryad here. I don't know if that's particularly good. So we're going to take 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, plus that. Yeah, we're just dead here. They just got the nuts on one of their dredges where they just flipped 3 prized amalgams, and then they hit the 4th one right after. All right, on the play in the next one. I think we're supposed to have engineered explosives, but I don't... Not sure. Definitely not Pact of Negation. Crumbling Vestige is a really interesting addition to this deck. Alright. Turn 3 Dryad, turn 4 Karn. It's not great, but this plays magic, so I'm going to keep it. I don't know if this is supposed to be good enough in this matchup, but I'm going to take it. Well, that's fine. I wasn't going to do that anyway. Did not bring in Reclamation Sage, but I do have access to Engineer Explosives Wish. Bad move if your deck plays magic. We'll see. We'll see. We're not going to be able to Bog them. But but Graph Digger still works. So I think we'll just play Valakut this turn, and then next turn untap land, Dryad, bounce land. Yeah. Didn't we learn from Turbo Chalice? I actually think some of the more interesting mulligan decisions I made with Turbo Chalice and some of the weird intuitive ones are part of the reason I was able to do quite well on that deck. There's the occasional hand where you're like, okay, this doesn't do anything broken on turn one, but it's actually too good to throw back. Like, when your deck occasionally gives you a hand that looks like Pyro Prison. Okay. Jeez, that's a good one. Holy crap. Well, all right. So we're at 14. They're about to have 4 power. On the plus side, Dryad blocks Prized Amalgam. So I'm not dead yet. I can put this into play this turn. Start gaining life with that bad mana Jamma. Bounce it next turn, bounce it the turn after. Yeah, okay. This seems okay. It's bad, but it's not that bad yet. That said, it could very quickly get god-awful next turn, so... What do you got, opponent? I am ready to lose. They could conflag my Dryad here. That would be pretty bad. Food took forever. It's okay, dude. You've just mostly missed us flailing around and dying. Amulet Titan is hard to cook. Yeah, so that was the one I was kind of afraid of. It sounds fun to watch. I mean, I guess. Okay, so we can Graph Diggers this turn. Which seems a little late because they've got 6 power in play. Okay. Oh no. Come on, stop it. Stop. You've done enough. He's already dead. Well, double Karn ain't not bad. So Crumbling Vestige is going to give us a mana. I don't really care what color, but green is fine. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling fine. Little green mana in my mana pool. So let's grab a Graph Digger's Cage and play that. So next turn, I have no idea how we're gonna start or how we're gonna progress and stay alive here, but we gonna try. With the cage in play, they're on semi-limited resources. If they think the Karn is worth attacking, it's probably pretty good for us. If they don't immediately have... Okay, so they are going to attack the Karn. Okay. So that buys us a little bit of time. As long as they don't top deck the removal for the cage, we're in a reasonable spot. So they only have 2 cards in hand, so their resources are a bit limited. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage next turn. So we're going to go to 1. But we're going to have a Radiant Fountain in hand. Problem is I can't get my hand empty for Ensnaring Bridge. How good is Engineered Explosives? Probably not good enough. Chris is So next turn I can play Chris for X equals 3. Block Prized Amalgam, kill Bloodghast, Narcomoeba, and I'll take 2 and go to 1 again. So that's okay. Turn after, we start making zombies with Field of the Dead. So we're in the game from that point. Could also get Worm Coil for next turn. That's going to gain us 6. As long as they attack with something on the ground. That's probably the get, because no matter what, we can start attacking with it. So, let's go get my big ol' Snick. Hey Adler, we're getting your big brother. Adler is Mare Bear's snake, for anyone who's interested. And he is funny. He's a snake that's supposed to burrow and loves to climb. Don't know why. A little goofball. This is Adler's big brother. The Worm Coil Engine. Yeah, so we should be going to... Oh, okay. They're not going all in on me. They are bothering to kill my Karn. But the best part about Worm Coil Engine Mare Bear is that this is a 6-mana 6/6 Death Touch lifelink, and when it dies, it splits into 2 3/3s, one with Death Touch and one with lifelink. So it is a replicating snake. And they've got Blast Zone now to kill my Grafdigger's Cage, so the cage is about to be broken. However, we have Ancient Stirrings and Worm Coil Engine to play this turn, plus Radiant Fountain to gain 2 life, so it's looking okay-ish. Omlette is not a particularly good pickup here, but it's probably worth having once we find a Titan. Any order of the rest of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. And then next turn we get to start making zombies. So maybe we'll have something going on. Worm Coil Engine. Worm Coil Online. Problem is they're gonna have their Grafdiggers. They're gonna get the Grafdigger's Cage off the battlefield. They're gonna be able to bring back the Ox and go turbo dredging, and they will probably just die, but we gotta somehow dodge a bunch of creeping chills. So it looks like they're a little bit limited on dredgers right now. They took the draw step. That's interesting. I wonder why. I don't really understand why they did that, but I'm sure I'm going to lose to the reason why in a second here. Just say nah. Nah, I don't feel like dying. What if I didn't? What if... No. So they've got Thug, Imp. I think that's it. Only 2 dredgers on the 3 draws. But they can get more as they're going, so... There's a good chance they're going to be in good shape here. And they already got a Thug. Yeah, so... We're in trubs. I haven't seen any creeping chills yet. Maybe we survive the day. Perhaps. It's definitely going to be some prized amalgams coming out. And there's a conflag for the next turn, although they only have 3 cards in hand. Looks like we maybe made it. Yeah, we made it through that turn. Okay. Our hand is not spectacular, but maybe... Just gotta say, nah. Nah, I'm not losing this turn. Maybe next turn, but not this turn. Yikes. Okay, well. Guess our deck with infinite lands is gonna draw some percentage of them. Not sure if Mox Tantalite is good or not. Hard to evaluate. I mean, I cannot imagine it's good, right? Like, someone would have broken it by now, right? Right? Like, I'm not that kind of person, Jig, where I'm like, well, nobody's broken it by now, so it must be terrible. I don't think it's terrible. It's probably fine. Okay, so we're up to 11? Okay. Maybe we all right? Oh, crap. Oh my god! Well, gaining the life was better than not, but we're just super duper dead. Yeah, we have nothing here. Alright, on the O2. I know Tantalite is hard to evaluate, and I'm guessing most people looked at it and thought, that is so god-awful, I'm not even going to try. But I would guess it's not. Okay, so there was that list. Toop, 23. Hopefully you're still here, or Toupee. Jupus. All right, let's see what you got. So, as you said, very similar to my list, except you're playing Hazoret. And you, let's see, what did you say? +1 Hazoret, -1 Chandra. Okay, I like that change fine. +1 Grafdiggers, +1 Tormod's Crypt, -2 Magus. Also fine. So you've expanded the Karn Wishboard in order to hedge better against graveyard decks, probably specifically Dredge, which has been seeing a big resurgence. So that is wise. Seems like a good choice. We already have 4 Blood Moons in the main deck, so we didn't really ever need 8. And I did find in matches where I boarded in 4 Magus and I had the 4 Blood Moons in the main deck that sometimes you drew like 3, which was a bit excessive. I'm not sure if I like Hazoret specifically, but it's because the deck sometimes finds itself unable to get the last couple cards out of their hand. So that is my concern with that. I'm going to grab some more water, and then we're going to get into match 3 here. If you are a crazy person like me who goes on big 5-mile runs in the hot heat, you need to hydrate before, during, and after. So I'm just making sure I don't end up dehydrated and messed up as we get into the latter half of this stream. When we do get there, got myself some hummus and some cucumber, and a vegetarian-friendly snack. Just a fan of her from playing Pyro Prison. Once I didn't get to 3 mana to keep activating, but it shouldn't be a common problem. Oh, right. So Hazoret does have the activated ability that lets you pitch things like Chancellors. So actually, Hazoret's probably better than I thought. I'll only run after a doggo. That's fair. You go on jogs. Come on now. Don't split hairs on me. Hand is really good if we find an Omlette and we're on the draw. And we've got an Ancient Stirrings. We'll find more lands, so hopefully this is good enough. I'm going to keep this. I don't know how good it is, but... I do love playing the Chancellor of the Tangles in that deck, because getting to watch people consistently be like, wait, how can you ever cast this, has been really funny. All right, so we found Infect, which is another one of the worst possible matchups for Amulet Titan. We don't have the ability to interact like at all with what they're doing, and the only hope we have is like comboing off like blazingly fast, which this hand is not going to do. So, kind of nailed a really crappy situation yet again. I think we're just going to die this game. Just going to put us on the 0-3. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so to reiterate, like the number of times I've seen people watching other streamers play the Turbo Chalice deck, and the question from chat is consistently like, why are you playing these Chancellors? Oh, they seem so bad with Bridge. Oh, they seem so bad with this. Oh, they seem so bad with that. And consistently, I've found with the deck and the sort of all-in nature of the strategy, I'm not sure if people are understanding the point of the deck. You're not like you just don't worry about things like that. Just don't worry about it, because if it's gonna matter, then you've probably lost that game already. Usually you only end up with one in your hand. You do have Seasoned Pyromancers to toss them, but usually you only end up with a maximum of one in your hand. Sometimes two, it happens. And if you lose because you have two in your hand and you have an Ensnaring Bridge, we got super lucky here, and our Infect opponent kept a very slow hand. So it looks like we might get away with murder here. Let's see what happens. Because we get Azusa this turn, plus, so she's going to give us 2 extra land drops. So let's see what happens here. We've got the Amulet. So you play the Simic Growth Chamber, we have 4 mana, bounce the Growth Chamber, play Azusa. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can play Dryad. Then we get another 2, so that goes 5 to 3. 5 to 2, and then we get another 2, and then we can play Karn. So we get Dryad and Azusa into play this turn for 2 blockers, and then next turn we get to Titan. Plus we get the Karn into play. So seems fine to me. Even if we lost both of them before the next turn, we're going to be okay here. So again, so we're going to play the Growth Chamber. Actually, yeah. So that on the bottom. And this on the top. Okay, so untap it. Add 2. Let that resolve. Bounce the Growth Chamber. Add 1 more. Play Azusa. Play the Growth Chamber. Stack them the same again. Untap. Uh-oh. Oh no! No! The mid-combo dismember! Alright, well, we'll still get Dryad into play this turn, so we'll be alright. So this is something that can happen to you when you're going off like this. Luckily, we didn't do anything silly like Pact during any of this, so we're going to be okay on that front. So Growth Chamber's going to finish up here. I think I'm just going to bounce the Forest, play Dryad, play Gruul Turf, and the next turn we have 2 land drops, we'll play Titan, which, assuming that us blocking is going to keep us alive. If they scale up, we'll take 6 and go to 9, but we will be alive at that point, so I think that's okay. So, bounce the Snow-Covered Forest, play Dryad, play Gruul Turf, bounce Cavern. Oh, that's not how land drops work. Well, it's fine. It's not disastrous. It's bad, but it's not disastrous. Has a great card in my LGS since loads of people playing mid-range, etc. Got it. Got it. Definitely doesn't fold to a lot of removal. So if they have scale up here, they can scale up, swing with both, probably. We'll see. Ooh, don't like that. Okay. So we gotta block that, I think. Yeah, we have to block that, or we're basically saying we're gonna lose on the spot. I Dismember was super clutch. Again, this matchup would have been, or was going to be bad all over the place, so the fact that we've made it this far is pretty good. All right. So I've lost my one Azusa. I could Pact for another Dryad of the Ilysian Grove and also play Sakura-Tribe Scout this turn. And then the Dryad lets me get the Gruul Turf into play. The problem is we won't be able to play the Titan next turn. But the Hazoret gets through things like Force and Negation too. So I think it's not necessarily a problem. Okay, so if I get that Dryad, cast the Dryad, I get 2 land drops, which means I can play Gruul Turf, bounce Gruul Turf, play Gruul Turf. That's 4 mana and get the Karn into play. We do have to pay for the Pact next turn, but Karn will be able to get a 1 mana thing for us, which could be Engineered Explosives to wipe out their Glistener Elves. Yeah. Which I'll be able to do next turn, even if I have to pay for the Pact, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So these pay for the Pact, and then I need to have 3. 1, 2. I don't have it unless I bounce one of the, but then I won't have it in play. Hawkward. Oh, Sakura-Tribe Scout lets us mess with that during our upkeep, right? All right. So let's go get a Dryad. See where we end up. Boom, boom, bat, 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 boom, boom, bat, bat, bat. I am also a fan of having 2 blockers here. So we've made no land drops yet this turn. Play Snow-Covered Forest. Do I want... I think I want one of the Crews in my hand. So it's weird because I think I'm just going to play the Gruul Turf, untap it, add the mana. I think I'm bouncing it. Yeah, because these are like rituals to have in hand. That's fine. So it seems awkward, but I think this is where we want to be. So we got 3 land drops next turn, so the Gruul Turf on its own gets us a Titan. The Titan can close out the game. Problem is... I have to block both of these, I'm pretty sure. So we might not be able to do anything fancy next turn. We're definitely not going to be able to Titan. We'll see what we get otherwise. We are putting pressure on their resources a bit here. Although Pendelhaven on the Scout means they don't really have to put much into this. Okay, note, friends. Do not get a butter knife to cut your cucumber. I can't really do anything with this turn, so I'll be right back. Okay. So they wiped us out, but we took no infect damage. 0 infect points. So, yes. Okay, so we can gain life, which is next to useless. We don't have any way to get extra land drops, so let's just put in this Gruul Turf and untap it. So go untap, bounce, Snow Covered Forest. Next turn we get to Titan, so hopefully we've taxed their resources enough that they don't have enough to kill us here. Seems unlikely, but it is possible. Nope, we dead. What's up, Trip 6? We're just playing a little bit of Amulet Titan right now. I'm getting absolutely massacred doing so. So, definitely an Engineered Explosives in matchup. Not sure what's going out. Maybe just the Explorers. I don't know if I want Rec Sage, because Reclamation Sage does let us interact with Spellskite and things of that nature, but I also don't know how much that card matters against us in general. The EEs are definitely really good. Ghost Quarter for Inkmoth Nexus. Oh, we don't need Bojuka Bog at all. Something I did not talk about, and you definitely should, and I know the more experienced, intelligent Amulet players will know about stuff like you can cut some of the utility lands in some matchups. So obviously Radiant Fountain doesn't really help us here, and Bojuka Bog does not either. I don't know what else we can cut here, but since we have a slot, let's get one Beast Within in here. I think that's better. Or do I want one of these Explorers back? I think Beast Within's probably okay. We're gonna try it like that. Certainly better than we were. And being on the play will help a little bit. These are one of the leagues where we're definitely injecting some tickets back into the MTGO ecosystem. Oh, I forgot to post that I'm streaming in the Discords. Shoot, that's okay. I'm not playing a deck that I think is particularly fun or interesting. I mean, I have no hatred for this deck or anything like that. So this is turn 2. Azusa, explode out a bunch of lands, and then go from there. We have the ability to Teleria West reasonably early. So I'm going to keep this, see where it goes. Stronghold into Vestige gets the Azusa into play. Then we go Growth Chambers, Transmute, and then turn 3 Titan. So seems okay. Seems like a reasonable way to get an omelet cooked. Get an omelet cooked. Ecosystems are important. I agree. Okay, Crumbling Vestige. So untap. Untap. Add a green. Bloop. Azusa. So we can get 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, Teleria West, and Ancient Stirrings. Oh, that's sick. We want Teleria West before we Ancient Stirrings. So same stack as usual. Actually, can bounce Crumbling Vestige and get the other 2 mana from it. We won't have the colors that way, but we do get to keep more lands in play. So I don't know which is more correct or advantageous, I suppose, is the thing I want to do. I think the line that I have is really good. And having the Growth Chamber in hand for next turn is really good here, assuming they don't remove my Azusa. So I'm going to bounce the Growth Chamber, do this again. Actually, so next turn I have 1, 2. So let's assume I have 1, 2, 3 in play. I should have cast the Ancient Stirrings before I did this, I think, because it would give me more information about my options for next turn, but we are not there anymore, so... Although I could always Teleria West for... Pretty sure I'm supposed to Teleria West for the Pact, so that I can get to the Titan that I want. So, let's let this resolve. Sorry, tap it. Okay, let that resolve. Okay, and then we're in really good shape for next turn. Do this. Grab a second amulet. Yeah, it seems all right. I have literally infinite mana next turn. We can drop multiple Titans next turn. I think that's what that means. Okay. That was my turn too. Go ahead. I only have 2 lands to play. It's totally fair. We got a 3rd amulet? Holy crap. Okay. So, 1 amulet. I think I want to bounce the Slayers Stronghold so I can give one of the Titans haste. 2 amulet. Okay. So Growth Chamber. Growth Chamber trigger, amulet trigger, amulet trigger, amulet trigger. Okay, untap. Tap. Untap, tap, untap, untap. Okay, so I think I want the Growth Chamber in my hand again. So let's get Summoner's Pact. Pact for Titan. Titan. Can bounce my Slayer Stronghold. I still have 2 more land drops. So what am I putting in here? I think Teleria West, which I can bounce the Growth Chamber, although I don't. So if I get Boros Garrison Sunhome, I get the mana that I need for the haste, plus I can give it double strike right now, so I think I'm doing that. And we can use this to bounce the Slayer Stronghold. So that goes on the bottom, and then we go... all the triggers for mana, I want those first, and then the double strike triggers can go after. Yeah. So untap, tap for mana. Untap, tap for mana. Untap, tap for mana. Untap, double strike. 1, 2. Cool. Oh, they can change it to their spell Skype. I forgot about that. Oh, so I'm not going to be able to give my Titan haste. Well, that's a shame. Shoot. No, it's okay. So let's... Oh, wow, that's super frustrating. Huh, so I didn't get an academy on this one, so I can't. Yeah, that's a neat one. Although I can EE... I think I'm not going to have the mana, but... So I can EE for 2, pop the EE, play straight Slayer Stronghold, but then I won't be able to haste, and I don't have enough land drops here. I think I'm dying to the Pact on the next upkeep, honestly, because I didn't realize I wouldn't be able to give it haste, and we wasted mana there. This is a hilarious shame, but this is 100% how you can just wreck Titan players from time to time. So we are running into... For anyone who thought that Amulet Titan was going to be a really, really easy-peasy deck to play and not think about, there are constant traps, and you can die on a lot of them. Shoot. Well, I think if I have one more land drop, which I don't think that I do... No, it doesn't matter, because I can't get the... Shoot. Yeah, I screwed up here. Yeah. There's just no way I can get double green during the next upkeep, so... Though I'm going to be okay in terms of a lot of other things. I can't give this haste. I have one more land drop here, but it doesn't help me, so... Okay, we're just going to get out of this one. So, big punt there. Just completely killed ourselves with an onboard trick that I did not see coming. So well done to the opponent for realizing that they could do that. Still a bad matchup, but that game should have been a win and was just a bad one. Okay. Turn 2 Dryad. Doesn't have turn 3 Titan. We are on the draw, so I'm hoping we can get some magic going. I'm going to keep it, see what happens. Breeding pool. In the mirror match, maybe? Okay, Vesuva's a really good pickup because it's going to give us a potential way to get to the turn 3 Titan we're looking for. Spirebluff Canal. 3 color, as foretold, maybe? Merchant Scroll. I have no idea what's happening, but I like it. Crumbling Vestige, triggers. Well, untap, add. Okay, add a green. Play him a Dryad. Boop, boop, boop. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, so Vesuva next turn can come in as Crumbling Vestige, add 2 mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 next turn. Okay, so we're gonna have a Titan, which is fine. Okay. I don't know why with some triggers it always asks you to put them on the stack, but it's salmon time. I do love salmon. Making some salmon there, buddy? I see. Twiddlestorm. So the question is, are we dead? We might be. I made a marinade. It's gonna be good. So for anyone who does not know what's going on, our opponent has a card in hand called Psychic Puppetry, which is 1 in blue. Tap or untap target permanent. But it splices onto Arcane for a single blue mana. So they've got a bunch of Arcane spells in their deck. So they are able to add the Rider, tap or untap target permanent, to every spell that they play, which is allowing them to untap Lotus Field, which taps for 3 blue mana. So down here in the 0-3 bracket, we're seeing some neat stuff happen. Lots of combo around. Certainly feels like it. No me gusta. Es no bueno, man. When I was on the West Coast in Mexico, it's funny because you always think like one of those like stereotypical characters from Warner Brothers, like Speedy Gonzalez's cousin, who is like Slowpoke something, and like Chong from Cheech and Chong. Those, you always think those characters are like very unrealistic representations of Mexican accents, but on the West Coast in Ensenada, man, I went into like some back alley markets and they sounded exactly like that. It's like, yo, gringo, do you want to buy some things, man? I was like, I don't know, maybe. They can draw their entire deck. I don't really care anymore. So we lost on turn 3. Beast Within doesn't work. Ghost Quarter doesn't work. Bog's no good. No, Bog is good. Bog is fine. I think I'm clicking submit because I don't know what to do with the sideboard here. I mean, like, Pact of Negation could be okay, but not as early as we need it. I guess it's possible. It's probably better than Radiant Fountain. It's weird because even like our Karn Wishboard doesn't do that much. I guess Grafdigger's Cage shuts down Past in Flames, so it's probably as good as we could hope for. So we're hoping here on the play we're going to be quick enough to stop them from just going off like that. But not with this hand. Not with this hand. It's the best one so far. The bottom Slayers Stronghold doesn't do anything interesting with this hand. Suva at least comes into play tap to give Amulet something to untap. But we're playing everything on rate with this hand, so actually this may not have been a keep. If I draw a Karoo, I can kind of get to some of this stuff. God, this is so rough. I think we're putting back Cavern and just hoping here. Yeah, this is really bad. Really, 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 really bad. It's been a bad day to try to learn to play some Amulet Titan on stream. I highly recommend to any other streamer who is thinking of doing something similar, don't. Just do it off stream a bit. For context, I have playtested a good chunk of Amulet Titan. This was when it started becoming popular, like probably 14 months ago. So, okay, well, we get to Vesuva, their island. It's going to untap. We could play this Explorer. That's like the best possible draw. It doesn't get me anywhere this turn, but it certainly sets me up okay for next turn. We're going to bounce the Vesuva, which gets me to Karn next turn. Plus Grafdigger's Cage. And maybe limiting the Past in Flames will give us the window that we need. So we got 3 mana. We can play Dryad, have Vesuva copy, Simic. Gosh darn it. Okay. Yeah. Well. No, I can't do anything. I mean, I can play Karn or Dryad, but I can't. If I play Karn, I can wish for something, but I can't wish for Grafdigger's Cage and play it. So if they've got the nuts in their hand, we're just going to die. Yeah, there's just nothing I can do about it. Which is fine with me. All right, so what are we? I'm in the grieving stage with this match right now. So I could play Dryad, get both the lands in my hand into play, but it doesn't really do anything. One of them could be Simic Growth Chamber copy, which sets me up with like 6 mana for next turn. It's not particularly effective. I guess if we survive to next turn, that's probably the best setup because we get to go Karn. They don't know we're playing Karn. They didn't see it in game 1. So it's possible that we get something out of that. So I think I've set myself up as well as I can, and if they go off on turn 3 again, which I'm assuming their deck is very capable of, then we're just going to be up a creek. This is a frustrating matchup to play for people's reference, because similar to the Nexus decks of previous Standard and whatnot, it is often not a deterministic kill. We don't know we're dead, and we're not going to know we're dead until many game actions from now. Not that it's a problem, but it's not just that it's kind of frustrating for them to click through. Like, on their end of things, this is a very click-heavy combo. At least this player does seem competent. But unlike something like the Underworld Breach decks with Grinding Station, it's not really deterministic. You can know right away whether they've got you deterministically dead with Grinding Breach, and you will see when the thing flips into their graveyard that's going to kill you. With this one, basically, once they get to the Past in Flames, we're dead, but they have to go pretty deep to get there. Although it looks like they didn't whiff at all here. We're just dead. Now they're going to add the red. Found the number of Swedish Prime Minister. Oh, they found the murderer of the Swedish Prime Minister from 1986. What is this? That's crazy talk. Aria of Flames? Good lord. They probably just have enough cards in their hand to kill us with that, I assume. Past in Flames, I'm just going to concede. Yeah. So we were 1 turn away from being able to survive that. Yeah, we died to Twiddle Storm here. Okay, I'm going to go into the last match at minimum to get the full number of tickets back into the Moto economy. But we cannot win anything on this one. But that is not what this is about. This is about doing the learning, and this is about having a good time here. And I'm still having an okay time trying to learn this beast. Apologies if any of this was thoroughly disinteresting. It's having a hard time finding an opponent who's got as pathetic of a record as we do. Turn 1, Chalice, and Rabble. Nice. See, that deck is such a trip to play. It's just like just give me just straight to the veins, baby. Love to see the 0-4. Yeah. Well, I mean, we ran into two of the worst matchups that are like actual tier decks for this, which is Gruul and Infect. Twiddle Storm seems pretty awful. And what was the last one? I don't remember, but they killed the hell out of us too. All right, we got turn 1 Tribe Scout. Not quite enough mana for these Titans, but I'm assuming we're going to draw it. We're on the draw. So, well, that's a big yikes. Eldrazi Temple. All right. I'm going to Scout this turn and Stirrings the next turn. Scout allows us to start dropping additional lands every... What the what? I don't know what they're doing, but it's sweet. Good lord. That's a yikes. Okay, so we can play Azusa next turn, but... Jeez Louise. All right, well, let's make a Plains. I'm against some kind of red-white Eldrazi moon, I assume? No, it won't be moon. Red-white Eldrazi. Yeah. Huh. Wild. Yeah, that's a reasonable pickup. Okay, so we can play Azusa this turn and Slayers Stronghold. See where we're at after that. Let's see, what kind of Azusa do I want to play? I think Bant. Our powers combined. Azusa, lost but seeking. Alright. So next turn we get to kill their Chalice and then do nothing exciting. Hopefully we won't be dead. I do have a Ghost Quarter in play, which might be a... Oh, man. Dismember. I mean, our turn sucked with Azusa, but, like, Dismember. Well, no Reality Smasher feels good. They're down to 1 card in hand. Here comes the Bone Crusher. Hopefully can pick up... That's something. Something for next turn, I guess. So, I'm going to kill their Chalice, and then both their creatures have to attack my Karn to take him out. Yeah. If we play the Explorer this turn, there's no way we get to do anything with the Explorer, so... And this frees up our Ancient Stirrings, which is pretty good. So we're trying to get out from the mighty booted foot of this red-white prison deck, or aggro Eldrazi disruptive taxes deck, I guess is the right words. Where's that other community? This one. Karen. Well, don't hate that. Ancient Stirrings. All right. So we've got our Slayer Stronghold in play, which might be unfortunate later. I think I'm grabbing the Forest so I can play the Explorer this turn, but if I grab Garrison, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the Crumbling Vestige mana for next turn, so I'm probably supposed to grab this Boros Garrison. so that we can get the Titan in play next turn, assuming we're not dead. We might be able to pull it out from there. This is a Vesuva, which could become a second Crumbling Vestige, but I think I'm happier to bounce the Vestige. Yeah. Oh, they have the Ghost Quarter, though. Yeah, I 10 out of 10 should have grabbed the that type of thing. People quitting after Resolve turn 1 Karn. I mean, I've never played against it, but the concessions seem pretty consistent, so I think it's a thing that you're gonna see. Okay. So this Displacer is gonna cause me some problems. But they let me do this, so I don't know if this means I can win, but we're certainly going to cast it because I've been given the opportunity to do so. They're not playing Lightning Bolt in their Chalice deck, I would assume. So let's see what's up. Yes. Okay, so Field of the Dead and Radiant Fountain, I think, make me the most alive here. They can stop my field trigger. Can they? I don't know if they can. Because if they Ghost Quarter, I'm just going to get my regular forest. They didn't even bother trying. Okay. We might be alive here. We'll see. Because they can only flicker once with their Eldrazi Displacer. And we went to 5 off of that. If we get to the next turn, we're going to be in real good shape. Like, bananas. Bananas, son. Bananas. So they can flicker twice here. I think we die to that. Yeah. We should be dead if they're seeing their card correctly. So Eldrazi Displacer has the text, 2 and a colorless, exile another target creature, then return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, so they can... Oh, no, because if they flicker my prime time, so they No, but they just flicker both my zombies and swing in with everything and I die. I'm going to take 7. So we are deterministically dead as soon as my opponent figures out how to attack me. Okay. I don't know what's happening, but feeling less dead. Okay, that's not good enough. I can go to 1. I'm cool. Okay. So I could go to 1. Might as well go to 2. What are you doing there, opponent? What's going on? Okay. I think I'm going to attack first. Definitely want to save both my land drops until afterwards. I don't think I can play this Radiant Fountain twice this turn, but I'm going to put a million zombies into play, and yeah, see where we go after that. Maybe use Karn to get another blocker out. I don't know what they're doing with this Ghost Quarter that they're not using it. There it is. Okay. Okay. So get a forest. Okay. So nothing I get here is going to untap, but we definitely want to get a Simic Growth Chamber and Valakut, I guess, for when we find a Dryad. know, burned some mana by not using the Radiant Fountain earlier, so I should have played a Karn before combat with Radiant Fountain and the Field of the Dead, I think. But I think we'll be all right. So crack it in for 6. Gain 2. 4. I can slide a creature. Actually, I think I might have screwed myself by not using my mana effectively before. Because they can remove a blocker. They can only remove 1, but I don't know if this is good enough. Probably should have gone pre-combat Ancient Stirrings to try to find the Amulet, which would have untapped the lands, and then I would have had more mana to do a bunch of nonsense with. As it stands now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can Ancient Stirrings find a land, explore? Okay, but then I get to Karn. Karn could put in Walking Ballista X2, which does not keep me alive. I can get the bridge. The bridge doesn't do enough here because I'm going to have too many cards in hand. So Karn, get bridge, cast bridge, Ancient Stirrings for... even if I Ancient Stirrings for nothing, it doesn't work. The Primeval Titan's not good enough because we lost our field. I think I'm just dead here. There's so many options in this deck. It's so difficult to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do. Where the optimal line is. Get an Engineer Explosives, but I can't pop it. I'm 1 mana short. Because I didn't do the Karn pre-combat. Alright, so let's Ancient Stirring, see if I can hit anything relevant. And then we'll explore Castle Garenbrig and Gruul Turf. Okay, well, we can bounce the Radiant Fountain with this. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay. I can Karn and have 1 mana left. And that gets me nothing of any particular value. Pithing Needle there, Eldrazi Displacer, but it's not good enough. Alright, we died. I think I'm getting Engineered Explosives for game 2, especially considering they're likely playing Blood Moon. Yikes. On the 0-4 with Amulet Titan here. Rex Sage seems like a good board in. Bog seems like easy out. I definitely want to Engineer Explosives and Rex Sage. Probably the second Explosives. Leaving 1 on the sideboard doesn't seem bad because we can get it with Teleria West. And then let's take out Sakura-Tribe Scout. Maybe a second one for this Obstinate Baloth. I know it's more for the Jund style matchups, but I think it might be okay here. And the Sakura-Tribe Scouts are vulnerable to things like Stomp as well as the Chalice on 1. Okay, let's try it this way. Let's go, 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 go. Shoop. I don't know if Malkin is a type of cat, but I am very okay with this thing happening. That is one proud kitty. He's doing a strut. Look at him. Look at him. It's great. Right. turn 1 Amulet into turn 3 Karn. Yikes. And that only works if they don't... Well, they're not going to have Blood Moon in front of the Karn. Well, they are playing Simian Spirit Guide. God. Alright, I'm going to keep this because it's decent against Chalice. We'll see how horribly I get messed up by that decision. I'm sure I'm not mulliganing aggressively enough with this deck, but the lines are complex enough that I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to be looking for. Like, obviously, like the explosive hands, they're easy to put together. The ones where you have bits and pieces like this one, it's a little trickier. If they have a turn 2 Blood Moon, we're going to be in worse shape. If the fastest is coming is turn 3, we'll be good. And if they're counting on a turn 1 Chalice to... Yikes. Well, if they're counting on the turn 1 Chalice to be relevant... Yep, see you in a bit, Jiggy. We're going to get started with the Urian decks after this one, so it'll be a minute. Yikes. Are you still on the Jiggy Urian deck? Okay, let's go with mandatory top land first. And... Oh, well, we actually have the forest in play. But we'll be able to Dryad next turn, even if they Blood Moon. So hopefully that's alright. They have 4 mana for an Eldrazi here, so hopefully this is not Thought-Knot Seer. Thalia. Thalia is actually okay because of the Crumbling Vestige. It's actually kind of funny. And she just makes everything work with Amulet. If we find another Amulet. So that's kind of okay. And weird. Alright, Dryad. Sanctuary. Sanctuary! Bounce the Vestige. Bounce the Snow-Covered Forest. It's probably... That's the big brain play right there. Because this removes the Snow-Covered Forest from their ability to pillage or whatever. The last link I gave you is updated... If the one, Faithless Brewing Discord. Oh, okay. Is it linked to your like Goldfish? Is it that one? Because I may have lost that one. Because I think I downloaded it when you were mentioning it. So I'll get at you for it before I play it tomorrow. Okay, so it's in the Faithless Brewing Discord. You're playing Bone Crusher? That's fine. Okay. So we're going to Titan this turn. We're going to do the thing. Am I doing the thing? Holy crap, we made it. Kind of. Well, we'll see. Whee! Boop. We did it! Oh! They scoop. Yeah. So the reason they conceded there was we were going to get Valakut and blow away both their creatures, which is going to put them in a bad spot. I'm asking my opponent their record specifically because we're 0-4. We can't win anything no matter what we do here. So if it looks like I'm going to win the next game, I don't want to... take free money away from my opponent here, and we'll just concede it. We've had a reasonable go at it, so opponent mulls to 6 already. Potential for turn 1 Chalice means I shouldn't keep this. Also the fact that it's brutal. Yeah, I don't think I can keep this one. That's the best one. Turn 1 Chandra, turn 2 Hazaret. Nice! That's a yikes. Okay, so we're just going to bottom both these Teleria Wests. I don't think we're ever likely to get to them. Always be plugging, friends. You gotta plug away. Oof. Yep. We have a good hand, despite this. And our opponent also mulled to 5, so might be okay. This comes into play on tap next turn, so let's play this as a tap land. Okay. Damoon! Thought Not Seer! Yikes. Well, only got 2 spells. Ah, well, I've got something to play next turn. That ain't not bad. Even trades with a Thought Not Seer. This boy is a happy boy. Look at him. He's such a Baylot. I'm a Baylot. I got an arrow in me. Would Guttural Response be silly to have in the side? I think so. I think that is more of the same problem that I have with people kind of being like, oh, the Chancellor's with the Ensnaring Bridge. It's so ridiculous. You're trying to fix something that is a flaw of the deck, but by trying to fix it, I think you're going to make the deck less good at the only thing that makes it worth playing, which is just being the fastest and most reckless prison deck you can be playing. Like, you're not gonna register that deck because you think that you're likely to. Yikes. Okay, I can cast a Titan this turn. It won't search for me. But on the plus side, I can search next turn, and I'll have a 6/6. So, think we cast in this Titan. So it's like just a general philosophy thing is like, you could start playing more counterspells in the Storm deck, right? But playing counterspells in Storm is detracting from the linear nature of Storm. Like, they play Remand, and they maybe play like one Unsubstantiate. If you start playing a bunch of interaction in the deck, then you stop being able to combo as consistently. So basically, you just look at the Turbo Chalice deck as like a... Yeah. The Turbo Chalice deck is like a combo deck in that you've got a density of lock pieces that allow you to win games, and detracting from that density for effects like that just seems ill-fated. Yeah. So the very first, the deck, if you go to my YouTube, you can find a deck called like Turbo Chalice. That was the very first iteration of a similar deck, and that one did basically, I think, what you're kind of talking about there. Okay, so we're going Squadron Titan on them here. They can kill this Titan. We can get another one next turn. I think that was a bad block for them. So we'll go Scoot, Transmute, with Ox and stuff. Yeah, I think I had an Ox in it. Hold up. We holding. Summoner's Pact. Another Titan next turn. Jiggy's probably out on his walk right now, but he'll probably let us know when he comes back, and we'll find out. The world needs to know. Well, if not the world, at least one important person. Omlette. Opponent, your goose is cooked. I'm playing Titans and kicking ass, and I'm all out of Titans. So, green, 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 1. Whee! Him, Titan. I think I still have a land play this turn, right? Yes, I do. Okay, so we're getting Boros Garrison and Slayers Stronghold, which means get to do a hasty Titan. So I think we go bottom, top. Yeah, okay. Bottom, top, untap, tap, untap, tap, untap, untap. I'm going to bounce the Boros Garrison. So it's fine. Wait, am I? I can bounce whatever I want here, right? Yeah, I don't need to bounce the Boros Garrison. I'm in the point of no return as far as tapping stuff. Thank you, Thanatos Z Gaming. Thanatos Z. Let's go mana. Give my dude double strike. And attack for 16. And we'll get... Okay, so I'm just conceding there, just in the sort of spirit of time and the fact that my opponent is not really in that game. So we took our 05, we conceded to that last one to put the tickets into the MTGO economy here. So Amulet Titan is a very interesting combo deck. I'm going to classify it as a combo deck. I believe it is classified as such on MTG Top 8. It is very, very interesting. I like it with the Karn package rather than without. Seems to be the current version that it's good in the meta. I don't know what exactly controls which one you should be playing your opponent last game. Oh, yeah, of course. Best of luck. I mean, I just think it's always a good idea to inject the tickets back into the Moto economy. I haven't actually done the math on the split of possible results, but I think if you're 0-4, you should play the last one out and concede it to sort of put a potential win back into the pool. So thanks for the deck list. We are going to be hopping over to our next one here in just a few moments, which is going to be Screenwriter 80 card control. This is named for the player Screenwriter NY, who I have run into in the queues couple of times. This is a mostly Sultai control deck with a tiny splash of white for Kaya's Guile. So stick around and see that in a minute. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find that and all of my other stuff on the channel. So check it all out, and I will see you real soon if you're live. Let's put on some tunes, shall we? I love tunes. I love a good tune. Love a good tune on Tuesday. I don't want that one. I want this one. I want this one.